Mushoku Tensei, or Jobless Reincarnation Season 2 just started. Currently, the prologue episode about Sylphie and episode 1 are out when I'm recording this. I want to talk about expectations for the season without spoilers, because this season is going to be pretty different from Season 1 based on the light novel. And I really want this show to get a Season 3, because I think Season 3 would be the best season of the show by far. So I kind of just want to talk about what Season 2 is about. And I'm going to be vague, I won't spoil anything, just so people have an idea of what they're getting into. Season 2 is really focused on characters, and it's really setting up the story for the long haul. So the rest of the story is being set up in Season 2. I know that sounds crazy, like, wasn't the story set up in Season 1, because it was 24 episodes and so much happened. But you get like a lot of little tidbits from all over the world in Season 1, and then Season 2 really develops them and sets up everything. Season 2 continues where Season 1 left off, but then jumps to a really different route to set up the rest of the story. I'm really curious to see what the anime-only people think of it. Season 1 covered 6 books. I'm assuming Season 2 is going to do the same. So this first arc that you're seeing, where Rudy is looking for his mom and he's depressed, I'm assuming 3 to 4 episodes. It was a pretty short book, at which point he's going to make his way to Renoa Magic University, where Roxy recommended that he go really early in Season 1 when he was a little kid. And the rest of the season is going to be at this university all the way until the last, I'm guessing, 4 to 5 episodes. And we bring some new characters in, we bring some old characters in that we haven't seen in a while. And action-wise, this season is really muted compared to the last season. And it's kind of strange because it's going to be bookended with a lot of action. This arc, which if you've seen episode 1 already, you saw there was action. And there's more in the next couple episodes. And the last arc, or the last book, which is going to be, I'm assuming 5 episodes because it's a pretty dense book and a lot happens. The end of the season is going to be really strong. I just don't know if people are going to be burned out by them with all the character and world building up to that point. And it's really different from Season 1 because Season 1, after he grows up, and even when he's growing up, you're getting a lot of the basic rules for how the magic works and stuff, and the rankings with swords and all that. But after he leaves the house, he gets taken to Eris. You get them being kidnapped, their training. You get the Fatoa displacement incident where he gets teleported. They meet Ruijerd and go on a bunch of adventures on the Demon Continent. He rescues slaves and he gets captured by the beast people that he helps. He runs into his dad. They fight and make up. Rudius gets captured again. He runs into Orsted after he gets uncaptured, or he gets help escaping, I guess. He runs into Orsted, who kills him and brings him back. Obviously, it ends with him and Eris hooking up, and she abandons him. So Season 1, even with just that quick summary, the pacing, you can tell there was a lot happening pretty much as soon as he left the village all the way to the end of the season. And it's not that nothing's going to happen in Season 2, but you really get a lot of like the political setups for the world. You get introduced to quite a few new characters. You learn some more about the displacement incident. Obviously, you had that prologue episode with Sylphie, which is going to come into play, but it's a lot smaller scale and it's a lot more character development with references to the ongoings of the outside world. And I won't say what the last arc is about, but the last arc I think everyone will enjoy who's still watching at that point. I really hope the anime-only crowd doesn't tune out, though, and feel like this season's boring or something, because you really get a lot of development for Rudius' character and his relationships with people and, you know, his magic and all kinds of stuff. But it all takes place at this university. So it feels much more kind of chill and compact, I think, than the first season, you know, where you see his village, you see Eris's area, you see the Demon Continent, you see the cities there, you see the port, you see what happened to their hometown. Like, you really bounce all over the world. And this season is much more like a couple set locations and then some exploration at the end. And you guys know how it is with anime. You're never guaranteed that there's going to be another season. And this one's super popular with the light novels. The most I could find about it was that it hit the 10 million volumes sold mark 2 years ago. So I have no clue what it's at now. I'm assuming a lot more since the anime has come out and all that. And I just read the latest light novel that was officially translated to English, which was 23, and there's only 26 total. So I'm getting close to the end of the story. And this is one of those shows that I really hope it gets Season 3. Because Season 3, am like 99% sure will be the best season for most people. There's so much happens, and that's where you really get all your payoffs for all the things that have been set up in season 1 and 2. And a lot of them are really good payoffs, so I like it a lot. And it has a lot more action, a lot more going on, and he has a much more clear goal for what he's doing in the story at that point. And there aren't a ton of anime series that get done all the way to the end, especially when they're 26 books long. I know some of the ones that are 5 books will get one season and cover the whole thing, or short rom-coms or whatever will get 1 or 2 seasons and kind of do the whole story. But a lot of them that are this long, I feel like don't make it all the way to the end. So I really hope this one does, because it's a really good series, especially the world building and the history and all the different cultures and languages and stuff. You can tell the guy really went all out with the world building, and especially in the light novels. I'm not sure how clear that is for the anime only people. As far as isekai go, I think it's pretty obvious why it's one of the top one, is because of the dedication to the world building and the characters, and it really takes its time to tell full stories for everybody who's important. A lot of them is just you have your main guy who gets a story, maybe a couple of his best buddies in that world, and whatever girl he ends up with, and then he's just picking up chicks like trophies and moving on, just story, and it doesn't have like a cohesive through line. And this one does a really good job of that. Anyway, I want to keep this one short. I just want to talk a little bit about what people should reasonably expect for this season, because I don't know what people were expecting who are anime only. For me, whenever I like a season of a show, I just go ahead and binge all the light novels. So I always end up being ahead of stuff, depending on how fast the English translations are, obviously. But it's definitely one of the best light novel series I think I've read, especially for isekai. Isekai, it's really unfortunate that as a genre, it just tends to slip into tropes and harems and all the OP shit and all that. And this one never really does that, at least not so far. I know everyone was super hyped about season 1. I'm curious to see how this one's received, because it is a good story and there's a lot of good stuff happening. It's just not quite as flashy and as much exploration. And like, you have your characters and they're doing their thing now. And I wouldn't call it a slice of life or anything, but it's more slice of life than action, I would say. But hopefully people stick with it, because the end of the season will be strong, and hopefully we get a season 3, because that's really what I want to get to, is sort of the best part of the story. Okay, well, if you're still here, like and subscribe and all that shit. Thanks. See ya.